Okay, rebuild time. So in the last video, we got the reduction gear swapped for a replacement one and got that sounding a lot better and tested the charging as well. So we're kind of happy this car is fixed as far as we can tell. Obviously can't do too much testing when it's like this, but it's all looking pretty good. So it's time to get it back together so we can do a road test, get an MOT, and then see how we go. So what's the next step? So the next thing is the subframe, which is that one front subframe, which fits under here. I think it goes across and then goes back there. And also there's that aircon pipe going over there, comes over and onto the compressor, and there's some brackets. Once you get the subframe in, there's like brackets that go down there. Yeah, and that's sort of first steps of the rebuild. Also around this 12-watt battery, so fuse covers, tidy all this up. So when you take the stack out, you have to take this off, and there's a load of connectors under here. So get this all properly refitted, the lid is there, get that put on. The battery train is put in on properly, there's connectors on there that go on the side, this fits on the side. So all that area around there's an earth strap, another earth strap at the back as well. So that's sort of next steps. And once that's on, once that subframe is on, then it's radiator pack, that's over there. So that can all fit back on, and then the rest of the air conditioning pipes, coolant pipes, water pump, kind of connections to the water pump, and get that all sort of starting to be rebuilt. Basically, they're the next steps. So I'll get those done, and I'll catch you in a bit. All right, cool. Okay, so we've got those bits on, subframes on, and that's all torqued up, and those brackets around the side are on, and I've also sort of refitted these bolts in here and torqued up those, and the hub nut on the end of the drive shaft. So yeah, and all these bits around the 12-watt battery, so that's cool. So next steps is the radiator pack, which is over there. So that goes on, and then that's got aircon pipes. So it's got one there that goes into one side, and then over there, just in the dark, on the other side, goes in there. It's also got its water pipe connections, so one onto the water pump, and then one goes onto that one there, onto the PEC. It's also got power as well, and that stuff is all here, all of that stuff for the radiator. So there's a relay, power and control there. And then with that on, the next things are the slam panel there. That's the washer bottle as well, which just sits on there. And then there's a crash bar as well that fits on. That's the next step. So just all sort of mechanical and pipes, and nothing too complicated, but they need to go back on. But yeah, we're getting parts back on, so this is cool. And then following those is going to be the fun and games with that wiring loom that fits on the front of the sort of slam panel and radiator, and then that connects across to various locations, but we'll get to that in a bit. So I'll get those bits done and catch you later. Cheers. Okay, so we're looking a bit different now. So we've obviously got the radiator pack on, washer bottle, we've got the crash bar and that slam panel on, and there's the bonnet release catch from inside, and yeah, that's all gone fine. Put some coolant in it, just letting that sort of bubble a little bit, so that's all in there. So yeah, just started it, still no errors and all good, so that's cool. So the next step is this wiring loom, the one that was hung over the mirror, and this fits onto various places. So it clips onto the horn, which is there, and I need to clip that on and then put that in the correct place. Also, there's a connector onto the bonnet catch there, so it knows whether the bonnet is open or closed. And then this wiring loom, so it clips on the front of there, and then it clips on here. It's got the headlight connectors for that side on it. Weirdly, the headlight connectors for the other side are not on this loom. Just a slight quirk of how that's done. So I'm just going to move without tripping over. And then, so let's just move this up so we can see what we've got. So then there are connectors for this, which is one of the air conditioning sensors. There's the washer bottle pump. There's another air conditioning sensor. So that, you can see there's a temperature sensor there connected to the pipe, and that's on one of them. And there's another sensor there. There's a couple of AC valves up there, and also the connector on the brake fluid reservoir. Yeah, and I think that's about all of those. Yeah, and then just the headlight ones. Yeah, 2 headlight connectors. So yeah, that's what I've got to do next. And then following that is the charging socket. So that goes on next, and that bolts on here and there, those grey ones. Yeah, then following that on the front is the air deflector. So there's a big sort of oval thing which is just over there behind the jack, and that fits just on here, basically just to duct the air in, because the gap on the bumper is a full oval, whereas this radiator is offset basically, so there's like a gap there. So yeah, that fits on there. Following that, I've got the cabling to the battery. There are some, I don't know if we're really going to be able to see, but yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, you can see that black bracket. So the cables are all going above there, so they need moving over. So this is the comms to the battery, and that's got a little clip on it, which we, oh yeah, it's just that clip there should be on that stud. And then that's the high voltage wiring to the battery, and that goes on to that one. And there's also on the back of the stack, there's another a like stud with a nut, and that holds the comms cable as well on there. So yeah, there's also another bracket as well in front of the battery that holds them. So it's just obviously that it goes down and along into the onto the battery, and there's a couple of different points that just hold that steady. So that's all of the next bits. Then sort of beyond that, it's the final parts of the rebuild really. So we're talking headlights, bumper, under trays, scuttle panel, wipers, that brake fluid reservoir bolts onto the scuttle panel. But yeah, we are really getting there. Oh, arch liners, that goes on with bumper and under trays. But that's basically the final things. There's a slight delay on MOTs. I've called my local, I've got a garage just like at the end of the road, just a normal garage, and they sort of do MOTs, but there's a little bit of a delay on those at the moment because they're quite busy, so that's slightly annoying. But I've got a bit of time just to yeah, just drive this short distances. Fortunately, I live down a track off the road, which is really good because I can go sort of like 500 yards down the track, turn around and do 500 yards back again. It just, at least you can just yeah, do 20 miles an hour and see what it sounds like, make sure there's nothing nothing major, check all the sort of any warning lights, fault codes, that kind of thing. But yeah, we are getting there. It needed a tyre, but I've had that done in the meantime. So yeah, I'm going to get these final bits done, and we'll get it back on the road shortly. All right, catch you later. Okay, so we're really getting somewhere now. So this wiring loom is all wiggled around, fits onto the horn there, which is in place, and this is where it wiggles round here, and in the process there's a little tap off to down there, and it's the washer bottle and those ones and up there. I've not quite popped this one on because I need to move this around to get the scuttle panel in place, but there's the two for the headlight. I think that's the main power and that's the adjuster or something like that. Something like that anyway. Yeah, and also got the charging socket on, so we're really getting somewhere now. So all being well, in the next video we will finish the whole rebuild, get the car on the road in terms of on my lane, and then we'll be able to do a little bit of just low speed and make sure things are okay. We also need to do the tracking as well, because obviously we've replaced the steering rack, so that obviously definitely needs doing, and also find out whether that knocking noise has gone away, because we believe it's a steering rack, but you can never be totally sure. One of these Zoe's front end knocks are a bit notorious for it. But yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with how it's going. I have to say I'm pretty much run out of energy now, so I'm definitely done with this. But yeah, really pleased with the progress, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Slightly depressingly, outside I've actually got 2 more Zoes that need full complete strip downs. One is noisy motor bearings, so we'll be doing this entire job again, just hopefully without the reduction gear fun and games. So I guess we see if that one goes sort of straightforward. And I've got another Zoe outside that I bought, and that one keeps getting a motor fault but doesn't make noise, so it's quite interesting. So I was quite keen to get that one, just to sort of find out what's going on inside the motor, because if it's got noisy bearings, it kind of makes sense that you're getting motor faults, because the sort of movement that's not meant to be there, because it's sort of yeah, bearings obviously extra play when they're worn out and stuff like that, but it's not making any noise. but it's getting the position fault with that rotor position sensor on the output shaft on this end. So I'm quite keen to get on with that one, but yeah, the customer one, the one that's just bearings, is a custom one, so that one's going to need to come first. But yeah, hopefully that's interesting. As you can see, it's really built up at the front there, so there's obviously the bumper left to do. So headlights, bumper, scuttle panel, there's the blower motor on the top, which is not blower motor, motor cooling motor fan that fits there. And yeah, under trays, arch liners and tracking. I think that's it, isn't it? Probably. Cool. So yeah, hope that's been interesting. We're going in the right direction, and I'll continue with this as and when I can. And yeah, catch you later. All right, cheers.